Trying to be doing that bullshit. On some good news. Welcome back, BS with Brian Simpson, episode, this is 23, right?
23.
Yeah, we moving on along. Well, I guess nothing real major is happening. I mean, the FBI ran up in Trump's thing. I hate because I told you I don't follow politics as much as I used to.
Sure.
But some things just pop up in your face. Just if you online at all, you're gonna see them.
You can't avoid that.
Yeah, and I guess they looking for classified documents that he was supposed to turn over because it's the law. Like the president has like everything the president does has to be recorded, even if it's classified. Like everything has to be, or there has to be. I think what's it called, the Presidential Records Act or something like that.
Presidential Records Act.
Yeah, everything has to be preserved for the future because eventually it's gonna all come out. And here's what's so weird: is like I can't imagine. So they asked for these records. Donald Trump apparently gave them, 12 or so boxes of stuff, and then they suspected that there were more that he wasn't giving them, and then they got a warrant for it. And what's wild about that is like I can't imagine what documents could he possibly preserve that he doesn't want them to have. Like just give it to him, or destroy them. Why do you still have them? That's
right.
Like if it's something that can get you in prison, which I'm guessing that's what it is. It's something that's gonna get you in trouble.
Sure.
Some kind of improper. Because it's like, to me it's like these motherfucking comedy clubs playing with my bread. It's like if you got it, why I don't got it? You know what I mean? I forget what movie it was from. The dude was like, it was from a rap album, but the dude was like, I got you. He's like, don't got me, get me. Right? And if you feel that. And it don't make grammatical sense, but you feel that. Like, stop telling me you gonna get me, dog. Do you got it? Yeah, then why I don't got it? Right? It's like, do you have the document? Yeah, and there's nothing illegal in there. Nah, then give it to me. What is the problem? You already gave me some of them. What's the rest of them?
It just makes the shit that you haven't given over look more important.
Yeah, it tells them exactly what you don't want them to see. That's why I don't use incognito mode. That's just a mode for Google to go, they don't have to save all your data. They just got to save that data.
Well, that was a big story this past week.
What's that? The incognito mode is bullshit?
No. The incognito mode is bullshit. Do not rely on incognito mode. But Facebook Meta handing over the chat logs on the back of a
the abortion thing.
The abortion thing.
Word.
With
so I believe that was in Nebraska?
Yes.
Okay, so was it Nebraska?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So in Nebraska, a woman provided her daughter with what they called abortion pills.
Yeah, it's called Pregnot. It's like a combination of misoprostol and mifepristone, something like that.
Pregnot,
which is a pretty fucking good name.
What a name. What a name. And then the generic version is pregnant. Yeah, so Pregnot, so obviously I think it's basically just an overdose of birth control, right? Basically, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So it forces you to have a miscarriage.
Yeah.
And now this has nothing to do with the Supreme Court ruling because the law they arrested her under was already on the books because in Nebraska, I guess, you're not allowed to terminate a pregnancy after, I think, 20 weeks.
Correct.
And she did this at 23 weeks.
I think it was 28 weeks, but even that, it's even more.
I think the law is 24 weeks. And
I'm pretty sure the law is 20 weeks.
Okay. And
that she did it at 28 weeks. But what makes this even more complicated is that the law that they actually got the warrant for. So the police submitted a warrant to Facebook Meta for the Facebook Messenger messages that had been sent between this woman and her daughter. Her daughter was the one that was pregnant. She was 17 years old. She was 28 weeks pregnant. They took Pregnot, and she was forced miscarry. The thing that they actually submitted the warrant for was the disposal of the stillborn body of the fetus.
Oh, well, what you supposed to do with it?
Well, I don't know what you're supposed to, but obviously they did it to hide the fact that they had aborted the child.
Is it like oil? Like there's a special place you gotta go turn it in?
It's like those battery depots outside of Best Buy.
Because that's the thing is like, because that's the issue, right? Is man, see, that's why God just leave people alone, because I guess to the point is like, if a fetus is a human, then it has all this. Then you have to. It's treated as human remains, which is ridiculous, right? Because like, because like if your dog dies, you can bury your dog in your backyard.
Right.
Right. But if your fish die, you can bury your fish. If your baby dies, you got to tell somebody.
Yeah.
If your fetus die, I mean, they buried it. Well, that's the thing. Why you bury it? Throw it in the trash. Isn't that what they do at abortion clinics? What do they do?
Well,
or they turn it in like shampoo or something.
They turn it into soap, like in Fight Club. No. They get rid of it as it's biomedical waste. Yeah.
Okay, right. So see, this is what I don't get. Right? It's like you live in Nebraska. The baby is stillborn at your choosing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think it's a life, but you give it a funeral or whatever. Like, why are you burying a fetus? Throw it in the trash.
I don't think that they gave
Is that
it...
weird for me? Because it doesn't sound right, as I'm saying. but it's weird to me because, because like if something happened to my cat, I would be very, very upset. I'd be very, very sad. I would not give her a funeral.
Really?
No. I mean, I would probably give her. I'll probably do like a memorial thing, but I wouldn't bury her. I wouldn't bury her. No. Maybe cremation. No, because I'm not gonna save the ashes.
We saved the ashes for our dog that died in February.
Yeah, but your dog's nice to you.
That's true.
No, I'm just kidding. No. I don't know. Maybe, but that's not even a fair comparison because this baby this thing was never alive.
A dog is worth more than a fetus.
Yeah. Okay, I ain't want to say it. Put it quite that way. And a dog is worth more than a fetus, and a cat is worth more than a dog. No. No. Well, obviously that's going to cause some issues.
Hey, if you disagree, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, and also, people got really, really emotional about this. But listen, my guy, red velvet cake is trash, and it's just chocolate cake with food coloring in it. Okay, now, yeah, I know technically, traditionally, red velvet contains vinegar and some other thing that interacts with the cocoa powder that turns it, but that's not what you buying at fucking Ralph's, nigga. That's just chocolate cake with food coloring. All right?
Correct.
Yeah, they don't. No one makes, well, unless you go to one of those fancy dessert, like if you get real velvet cake from like the Cheesecake Factory, that's probably the real shit. And
I would say the opposite.
Really?
I would imagine that Cheesecake Factory is just red food coloring. That's just gonna be red number 5.
So you think Ralph's is giving you the real shit?
No, I think you got to go to some fancy pants,
like a fancy bakery, right?
Like a fancy bakery, yeah.
You see if they make red velvet cake on Food Network, that's red velvet. That's the traditional recipe. But most of the people that are like, oh, I prefer red velvet, and because I've this came up because I argued with a friend of mine about it while we were standing there. He was like, well, I prefer red velvet. It's like, it's chocolate, dude. Just get the chocolate. I prefer red velvet. Because we had to wait for the red velvet, and the chocolate was right there. And it's like, it's the same shit. We at Ralph's, dog. It's the same shit. It tastes different. It don't taste different. No, it don't. The icing, and another reply I kept getting is, oh, with that cream cheese icing. No, you can put icing on anything you want. Did you know that? There's no law saying cream cheese icing can only go on red velvet cake. The biggest mistake we made is not putting cream cheese on more cakes. Because I could throw that shit on one of my favorite cakes, slept on, the pineapple upside down cake. That's one of my grandma, my cunty grandma. That's one of her best recipes. She was the best cook in the family. She might be the best like overall cook that I've ever lived with. And I lived with a lot of people, a lot of mothers.
Pineapple upside down cake is also my mom's. My mom's a terrible cook, stone cold bitch, but she can make a fucking pineapple upside down cake. Yeah. So I think that's just the bitch cake.
Maybe there's something to that. Being able to cook and being an asshole. Nah, no, that doesn't stand up to the test. Yeah, but we digress. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I mean, are they going to lock both of these women up? They're going to put both of these women in prison?
I mean, I think both of them are up for a felony. There's also a third person. There's a dude who is like a friend of the mother or something like that.
Who got the pills?
I think he got the... No. Actually, I think he's... it's a misdemeanor, which is basically like conspiracy to hide a dead body.
Now, here's
some random Nebraska law.
Here's the rub. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the daughter is the reason this got out. Because teenage women can't keep secrets. You know what I'm saying? It's like their currency. It's like that's how they bond with each other. They like trust each other with secrets that can destroy them. You know what I'm saying? And because here's the thing, you got the pills. I'm guessing you didn't buy them in Nebraska, but maybe you did. And you had the abortion. You buried the baby. That wasn't nobody business. Now, how the fuck the police find out? Did one of y'all call them? No. One of y'all opened your motherfucking mouth. You did dirt with too many people, and you let too many people in on the dirt. This ain't a game out here, and I'm not blaming them for the ridiculous reaction to it. Mm-hmm. But you are in a place where it's illegal, right? What you can't be running your mouth. You can't be doing crimes out here and then telling people that wasn't part of the crime. That's just crime 101. And you don't even have to be street smart to figure that out. You just got to watch enough TV to know that that's the one thing that Hollywood gets right. If you run, the less people that know, the better. Like, you did something illegal. Now, whether it was right or wrong or morally this or that, that's neither here nor there. The point is, you did something illegal and then you told people. Why? I don't know. And what are they facing?
Doesn't say. I mean, I can't find a. This article is also saying 24 weeks instead of 28 weeks. I mean, does it really matter that much? Probably not. But just to be accurate in our reporting, if you want to call it that.
So what was the law?
I can't find what the actual.
But what was the cutoff age? The cutoff age.
20. I know 20 weeks is the
20 weeks is okay.
Yeah, 20 weeks is the cutoff, which is, half of the 40 weeks that people talk about. But what's fucked up about the 40-week thing is it's 40 weeks from your last period. So you get pregnant, you miss a period, and then you take a pregnancy test. You're already several weeks pregnant.
Right, by the time you miss a period.
By the time you miss a period, you're already several weeks pregnant, according to that 40-week metric and the one that is used in sort of a post-Roe framework. People. So when people hear like, oh, you have 6 weeks or whatever, they think it's like 6 weeks from when you miss your period. It's like no. It's a little bit of a tighter time frame than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all nonsense to me. Honestly, what's so crazy to me is how quickly it seems we've moved on. I thought that ruling was gonna I thought that was a powder keg about to blow. Mm-hmm. But it looks to me like it's gonna be more of slow, steady situations. Like I said, that I think some of the conservatives that were for this don't realize it's going to come back to their doorstep. You know what I mean? And more situations, because no one's immune. Everybody fucking out here. Everybody fucking. That's one thing that across political lines. We all fucking and coming and coming inside each other and all of that. So, when you pass laws that are connected to fucking in a way where you think it's not going to affect you, you're wrong. So eventually this is going to happen to some prominent, rich person or conservative person.
But isn't the counterpoint to that it won't affect them because they'll always be able to get abortions?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that was the case back in the day, but now because now politics are so petty that they may be able to get an abortion, but it's going to be real tough to keep it a secret. You know what I'm saying? Because there's women everywhere that's like, somebody's secretary, somebody's assistant, some like, yeah, maybe the very, very, very richest people won't get them.
Right.
But I'm talking about those middle rich people, or just powerful people, just governors, whatever, pastors, senators. So one of your daughters, one of your nieces, somebody gonna need one, or somebody gonna get one, and they gonna get charged with it because it's gonna be, leftists. Prosecutors is like, well, this is a law you wanted me to enforce, and they're gonna go for it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee that's gonna happen soon, real soon, and that's what I mean. Is like, it's real easy to pass laws that make it hard for other people, but when you pass one like this and you don't realize, like, you actually making it harder on you and your family as well. It's like you're not separate from this. And the same thing with men. Like, a lot of men are like, well, bitch, that shit happened to y'all. That didn't happen to us. But it's like, what are you talking about? I like probably a third of the men that I know have financed an abortion or two.
Sure.
Or way more than that when we talk about Plan B pills and all of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe not abortion
bro,
necessarily, but
you know how many men's lives Plan B pills have saved? You know how many men's dreams have been brought back from the depth by a Plan B pill or an abortion? So, that shit affects everybody. Everybody. It's really disturbing to me, man, because I feel like I made it. I'm almost 40 years old, no kids, and thank God, because if I had a child at any point before this, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine some of the things I've had to overcome just on my own. To have a child involved, or even worse, to be one of them niggas that like is not in your child's life, like, at all. I couldn't live with myself. You know what I mean? If I found out now that I had a child that I didn't know about, I would be fucking furious.
With whom?
With the mom.
Mm-hmm.
For not, yeah. If I found out like I got a now your child damn near grown, you ain't had no influence on them. You ain't. Ooh, that's cruel. But whatever. I don't know. I just, this is gonna come back to haunt us. This Roe v. Wade shit is gonna come back to haunt us. But like I said, what's wild to me is how quickly it felt like this storm brewing, building up to the Supreme Court. It felt like something that was gonna blow, and then it was like everybody was upset for like a few days and just moved the fuck on. I only hear it come up when it's brought up, like when situations like this, people are talking about stuff like this, and then it comes up. But
there was that 10-year-old in Iowa.
Yeah, that was right away. Yeah, and you see the people. They said it was fake. It wasn't real. They didn't think it was real. They didn't think it was real until the dude confessed.
And that shit happens all the time.
Yeah. So, what you going? Especially the places where it's like no exceptions for rape or incest. That's gonna really catch up to you, bruh. That's gonna really catch up to you, bruh. Yeah, I mean, cause what you gonna say to your daughter? You gonna make your daughter have a baby from a sexual assault? You gonna make your daughter do that? That don't make imagine that your 10-year-old daughter. You gonna make her have that baby? That's wild as shit to me. That's wild to me. Ain't no motherfucking way I do it. I would move. We'll go. We moving, baby, and we having this abortion, and we ain't never coming back to this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
They just think it's never gonna happen to them.
Yeah, they really do. I really think a lot of people, not everybody, some people just don't give a fuck. Some of them just evil. But most people think they look at it as a moral thing, and they feel like, well, I'm moral, I'm Christian. I pray. I pay my tithes. And whatever happens with these babies is God's will. And since I know God's plan for me, and it's for me to not have babies before I'm ready, and that kind of shit. And all that shit feel good and sound good in the speech until that shit land on your motherfucking doorstep, like I said. Until it's one of your kids or some kid you care about. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with like when cops kill kids. And people they got to jump through all these mental gymnastics and go, well, the boy look grow, he moved fast. And it's like, because they don't see their children in those children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't see that it could happen to their children, so they try to justify it like, well, he must have been doing something. Mm-hmm. They didn't just pull up and shoot a 10-year-old. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
That's almost 100% exactly what they did.
That's literally what they did. Yeah, and so it's gonna come back and bite you in the ass. It's gonna, because like I said, the cops can be racially biased or whatever, and not, because I can't recall a time that the cops have shot a white child.
I don't think it's ever happened.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but it's definitely not something that happens with regularity. It's definitely not something that I can recall.
I feel like it hasn't happened, because if it had happened, we would never stop hearing about it.
See, I thought the same thing when they shot that old lady.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
But the truth is, like, when you're...
But we don't give a fuck about the elderly.
Yeah, we don't care about the elderly people. It's a group. I do. I care about the elderly. The ones that agree with me. No, but yeah, it's... I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time. Like, all these things you think, it's just like, it's the same thing that happens with like government bureaucracy. It's every corporation is ruined by people making decisions from a distance. Decisions about shit that they have no clue what the outcome is going to be, and it's not going to affect them either way. You know what I mean? They sitting in back imagining. It's like your friend that never been in a fight that think they can fight. You know those people. They just it's just in their head. They're imagining their outcome, and they're completely wrong, and they never ever have to find out. Go pay the consequence.
Speaking of, did you hear about there's another big thing that came up. This has been out since 2020, but has sort of gotten some renewed vigor recently because of the filings in court and everything about the Breonna Taylor thing with the mayor being connected to the gentrification plot in Louisville. Have you heard about this?
Mm-mm.
So Breonna Taylor's shooting, according to like the filings that have been alleged by the lawyers representing the family, was the result of a Louisville Police Department operation to clear out that block in western Louisville as part of a major gentrification makeover that the mayor was connected with. So there was actually a police squad called Place-Based Investigations that would send narcotics agents after buildings that had black people in them to like rouse them out so that those blocks could be bought up by redevelopment corporations, and that Breonna Taylor's death might have been related to that.
Okay, so wait a minute. So you said alleged.
Alleged. I'm saying alleged because I think it happened for sure.
Is there any?
But
what's the evidence for that?
Well, the evidence is that we know that the place-based investigations is a real.
That's real.
That's a real thing.
Okay,
and that's part of the police squad.
And we know that the mayor is connected to them.
We know that the
financially.
Yes.
Wow.
He has connections to people who are like actual investors and board members of this investment company that has been buying up. It's a way to use the police to forcibly evict people, basically, right?
That's just evil, bro. That's just straight up evil. Doesn't that sound like the plot of a movie, right?
Yeah.
That sounds like the big reveal at the end of a movie. Like,
it's like some RoboCop shit.
It was the mayor the whole time, just trying to get some develop. Oh, that is RoboCop, basically, right?
Yeah.
And
like every
the mayor
Scooby-Doo
trying to clear the block. See, why don't you just pay people to leave?
It's cheaper. It's cheaper to use because the taxpayers pay for the cops. So,
man, yeah, I believe it. I believe it too. And guess what? Ain't nothing gonna happen to them evil motherfuckers. They're going to get a slap on the wrist. They're going to have to resign or something. And they probably still going to get the money off too. off the scam, off the scheme. Fuck, man. Like, things are not getting better. And that's wild because maybe it's always been the case, but as a child, like, were we talking about this last week? I felt like the worst was behind us almost, you know?
I think we talked about this off. I mean, we were just like shooting the shit after we recorded, so I'm not sure if it ended up in the episode. But yeah, we were talking about that. In the 90s, things weren't necessarily better in an objective sense, but there was a sense that things were moving in the right direction. At least if you lived in the...
Yeah, there's an optimism about the... But again, that was before the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was so easy to be misinformed in the 90s. Well, let me rephrase that. It was so... Because there was less access to information, it was easy to be optimistic because it was harder to come across. It was harder to know that certain things were bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it was just now we, even more so than from school, we know exactly how the government works in a way. It's like we pull back the curtain on the sausage factory. It's like in the 90s, it was much easier to enjoy sausage because we didn't see the fucking pig getting killed and the way they were raised in their own shit and slop and the way that, and now we just know the dirty shit behind everything, and it's just hard to not feel like shit about everything.
Right.
That like have somebody that doesn't care about the environment in charge of the EPA or doesn't care about education in charge of the education department, and to realize that like we're falling behind the rest of the world in everything except money and military spending.
And prisoners.
And the prisoners per capita and the wealth inequality. It's like it's just I just don't remember being aware of so much fucked up shit. In the 90s, you picked a cause or two, and you hammered away at it, and you made a little progress, and you felt like the world's getting better. But now it's like there's 1,000 causes. Even if you did your 100% best, like let's say you dedicated your life to eradicating homelessness, and you've hand built 25 houses for homeless families and gave it all to them. If you did that in the 90s, you'd be like, I fucking made a dent in this community. And you wouldn't be aware that like there was a complete like meth problem on the next block.
Mm-hmm.
And your police chief is, your sheriff is racist and they're in gangs.
Or even to take it one step further, it's just, you're putting up these buildings and you're like, man, it doesn't cost that much to put up this building. It's like, why? Oh, all this lumber is from slave labor in Bangladesh. You know what I mean? Like now we know about that shit. There was a combination of blissful ignorance and plausible deniability for the average person in the 90s.
I don't have a link for this, but it says Domino's is reportedly ending pizza sales in Italy.
Well, so
I did something.
The idea was that Domino's entered Italy around several years ago, and they have now shuttered the last of its 29 branches. When they first entered Italy, they claimed that they were going to eventually open almost 900 stores in the country.
Okay.
And they did not get anywhere close to that, and they have now announced plans to shutter the last 29 branches in Italy.
Yeah, hey dummies, it's Italy. Why did you think you would be able to open up 900 shitty pizza shops in the place where pizza was born?
Well, here was their plan. Their plan was that in Italy they don't have home delivery for many places. But that's because you can walk down the street and get pizza. Right.
It ain't because they're not a victim of this like urban sprawl bullshit that we do here, right? Yeah, that's what kills me is we have this weird worship of rich people, and we always equate whether or not the business was ever successful at any point to whether these people are geniuses. It's like, this motherfucker isn't a genius. Who decided that? They're not a genius. It's just that I just feel like once you hit a certain amount of money, it's almost impossible for you to go broke unless you're like trying to go broke. There's only so many ways to protect your money from the business's money and extract wealth and bail it, and like have it all fall on the employees and their retirement funds and shit. So it's like you can almost never not be rich once you hit a certain amount of money.
Even if you completely fucking fail, you just sell that company to your friend's company that buys up the debt and then repackages it, right? Like with Toys R Us or any of those other large companies.
What happened to Toys R Us?
Well, Toys R Us basically got hollowed out by a capital company. I think it was Bain Capital, actually, which is Mitt Romney's company.
Think about that shit. How you go out of business selling toys? Think about that for a second. Like, it's that's as close to people having to buy from you as anything. Like it's right up there under utilities. Like it goes like food, shelter, clothing, toys. You have to buy them. If you have children, you have to buy. And Toys R Us was at one point the largest toy store in the world, right?
Yeah.
But then I guess, Walmart started selling toys, Amazon started selling toys. And they just didn't keep up, I guess. Toys R Us went out of business, 10, 12 years ago?
Well, they didn't file for bankruptcy until the last U.S. stores closed in 2021.
No,
but they filed for
way.
bankruptcy in 2017 and 2018, closing all of its U.S., British, and Australian locations, with the last U.S. stores closing in 2021.
Damn, that must have been a sad fucking store. Like a sad day at the store. Yeah. Because I think their shit is, what was their slogan?
I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
Oh, I thought it was where a kid can be a kid. No,
maybe that.
No, that was Chuck E. Cheese's.
Yeah, It's I want to be a Toys R Us kid. I remember that. I remember the commercial when I was a kid, and they would say, it's like trucks and trains and video games on the little commercial, and then they would show people playing Nintendo, and I remember I would salivate over those fucking commercials because they'd be showing like Simon's Quest on NES.
Like, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Yeah, man. But I don't know where they fucked up. I don't know how you fuck up toys. I don't know how you fuck that up. That's like hearing like the first crack store went out of business. Like crack was legal and there was a store, and they just how kids are literally addicted. Yeah, man. I was up every time I got more than $20, I was up in Toys R Us, getting something, action figure, something.
For a lot of people who grew up without a lot of money, Toys R Us was almost like a smaller version of Disneyland, because you can go there and you can play new video games, you can look at all the toys and stuff, and you can spend some real time in Toys R Us fucking around.
Now I do the same thing in Best Buy. Okay, Serena Williams announces she will retire after the 2022 U.S. Open. Wow. What a loss. I mean, she's arguably, relatively, the greatest athlete of our generation. Mm-hmm. In terms of her dominance, she dominated for a long time. A long time. I don't know her stats, but I've heard them listed before, and it's really fucking impressive.
23-time Grand Slam champion. That's absurd.
Yeah, and Grand Slam meaning she won multiple.
I believe Grand Slam is the 4 biggest tennis tournaments. It's like the U.S. Open, French Open, British Open,
and this one.
And Wimbledon.
Oh, the Wimbledon. Right.
Yeah, that's the 4, right?
I don't fucking know. I think so, and I don't know if I've ever watched an entire tennis match. But it's not that it's not exciting. I don't know why I don't.
Sorry, it's the Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon, and U.S. Open.
Okay, yeah. So imagine that shit. Imagine Imagine being in a league where one person is that fucking dominant. That's ridiculous. That's absurd. What's the next closest one?
The next underneath her?
Yeah.
Probably like Steffi Graf, maybe.
How many she got?
Or Martina Navratilova, maybe.
How many? Are you looking at a list?
I'm looking at a list of Grand Slam winners, but she's got like 15 or more. But I mean, but Serena Williams is just, I mean, she's just dominant. Like, it's her, and then her sister is number 2 as far as winningest and making the most money, I believe.
Yeah. That's impressive. I mean, she definitely has had, 23 Grand Slams is, that I don't know if we'll ever see something like that again. You know, I don't watch tennis very often, but it's hard to stay dominant for that long at anything. Right? Nobody stays in their prime into their 40s.
Just to be clear, the Grand Slam singles titles, she won the French Open 3 times. She won the Australia Open 7 times, so that's 10. And then like Wimbledon, she won 7.
So you don't have to win all 4 in the same year.
No. But she has won either the Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon, or U.S. Open 23 times, which blows everybody else out of the water. The next closest is like, I think, Martina Navratilova, which is like 16 of them, give or take.
Wow. So, and has she ever won all 4?
Let's see. Doesn't look like it, but I'm not sure about it. It looks like in 2002 she won she won 3 of them. She missed the Australian Open, but then won it in 2003. You know.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Ms. Williams. For fucking dominating for decades and decades, and even after having babies and all of that shit, right? Yeah, that's goddamn impressive. You know what I want to talk about?
Sure.
Is NYC safe? The reality of crime rates in New York. Because it's one of those weird things where some people kind of like reminisce about when places were more dangerous. Like they miss it. You know? And I guess now New York is not anywhere near as dangerous as it used to be, but still more dangerous than it's been lately. And people are acting like they living in Beirut, you know, like, and I don't know why I keep using Beirut. Like whenever I try to think of a shitty place, that's the first one that pops in my mind. And I'm pretty sure it's not that shitty. Lebanon's actually pretty nice, right?
I mean, Beirut went through a multi-year period of daily shellings, right? That's why you think of it that way, I think.
So things look a bit different today with a wider snapshot. The murder rate today looks much like it did in 2009 when the city was clawing its way back from the last national economic collapse. Pull back further to New York of the 1980s, cocaine, and the early 1990s, and the murder rate was 5 times higher than today, with an average of 6 killings a day. Just before the pandemic, the city's murder rate plummeted to its lowest level in decades. So that's what I mean. I think it's overblown how people are saying it's so dangerous now, and it's like, no, it's just a little more dangerous than it used to be, but not nearly as much as it was like back in the day. Like, yeah, 80s and 90s, you know, it was a whole different place than it is now. It's still relatively safe. It's still ridiculous to pay that much money to live there, but that's just my opinion. All right, one more before we get the fuck out of here. Let me see. Let's do a doozy. We'll do something that's weird.
What's this one about staying up past midnight? What's this?
Where's that?
I think you put this on here.
Where is it?
The human mind is not meant to be awake after midnight, scientists warn.
Oh, maybe I did. The human mind is not meant to be awake after midnight, scientists warn. Maybe I did. Maybe I did this in the middle of the night.
Probably.
In the middle of the night, the world can sometimes feel like a dark place. Under the cover of darkness, negative thoughts have a way of drifting through your mind, and as you lie awake, staring at the ceiling, you might start craving guilty pleasure like a cigarette or a carb-heavy meal. What is this from? ScienceAlert.com? Oh, shoot me if I send you stuff from this place. That doesn't sound... Because there's no...
there's some links to some studies which we are not trained to interpret appropriately, but they're in Nature, which is that's one of the most prestigious scientific.
But links to studies is one thing, but like you said, the interpretation of those studies is another. Mm-hmm. And I'm always skeptical of when articles like this are published and it starts out with. So listen to this paragraph. Plenty of evidence suggests. When you start talking about evidence, you got to say who's suggesting. You can't just say that's like a motherfucker going. There's lots of studies. There's lots of people saying. It's like, no, that's not how science is taught. Like if this is a serious scientific. If this is a serious scientific website or whatever, you don't just go plenty of evidence suggests without showing the evidence, right? Plenty of evidence suggests the human mind functions differently if it is awake at nighttime. Past midnight, negative emotions tend to draw our attention more than positive ones. So again, here we are again. Vaguely, some researchers think, yeah, fuck this. This is dumb. I'm not saying Science Alert is a sham, but it is. Let's talk about this shit. This pissed me off. Senate Republicans blocked the PACT Act that would have aided veterans. We talked about this already, right?
We didn't talk about this, no.
Oh, these fucking cunts. But it ended up getting passed before we could talk about it.
It
right?
did end up getting passed, yeah.
Yeah, but fuck them anyway.
But they're so full of shit.
Let's make sure we get these. Let's make sure we get these daggone fan joints before we get up out of here. Mm-hmm. So this is from BEA. Hello, Brian. I'm a philosopher, writer, educator. I don't want to say what school because I don't know if you want that to be known. He says, and I'm a big fan of your comedy. I think your work combines wit and social critique in a powerful way. That's never my intention. I'm reaching out because I like what you recently said about philosophically liberal folks needing to be known, organized, and armed, especially within black communities. I think this is an important element of anti-racist struggle. I've been writing about legitimacy of self-defensive violence from a marginalized standpoint, which can be an important way out of a condition of victimhood. Furthermore, learnt defensiveness is routinely weaponized by white women to unleash state and mob violence against black men in their defense. Preach, brother, preach.
You got some smart fucking fans, dude.
Gender stereotypes and anti-black racism intersect in this area. Yeah, bro, I'm hip to that shit. Like, white women tears don't affect me anymore. I'd love to start a conversation with you if you're willing about these and any other related issues. For example, I'm often asked by fellow academics, what if your ideas about violence fall into the wrong hands? Or why should the left adopt the ideas from the right and such? Me too. I think all these questions assume a certain otherworldly moral puritanism of the left and are giving the right an exclusive right to the use of force. Having said that, I still think there's work to articulate these ideas in a comedic, philosophical way that could resonate with more people. What do you think? I fucking agree. I would normally say hi at one of your shows, but I've been traveling less due to the pandemic recently, even though I do come to LA, and perhaps you will come to Oregon one day. I will never come to Oregon. By the way, I'm a white lady, but I don't have dreads, and we have the same initials. I would have never guessed I was a white lady.
No.
That's the big reveal. Wow. Wow. I'm blown away that was a white woman. That sound in my mind, I was
You were picturing Octavia Butler in your mind.
No, I thought this was a man.
Oh.
I was picturing a black man. That looked very professorly. this person's a professor. But yeah, I would definitely love to have that conversation. B, hit me back and let me know what that exactly means. You want to get on a Zoom? You want to goddamn? Maybe we can Zoom you in. Maybe we can.
We can do that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we'll try to work that out. All right, I'll message her back. I'm gonna start that thing. All right, this is from Jamal. Love the podcast, man. Just wondering who is the guy that you do the show with. He's super smart, and just wondering if there's some social media or anywhere else to follow him. Keep killing, bro. Just saw you in Richmond. Can't wait to catch another show. Dude, I got a lot of people saying that they love you.
Well, good. That's great.
Yeah. But his name is Rob. Obviously, if you listen to the podcast, you know that. I know Rob has a Twitter, but I don't think it's like, you're not active.
I just got a Twitter to follow fucking video game accounts and shit.
Okay, right.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, Rob is he's not active on socials or anything like that, you know? So you just got to tune into the pod if you want more Rob. That's just how it is.
Yeah, you can find me on BS with Brian Simpson.
Yep. If you want to get in contact, yep.
You can also email me at bswithbriansimpson@gmail.com.
Yes, you can.
I will see it.
You can email us at bswithbriansimpson@gmail.com if you want your questions read, concerns, if you just want to say fuck you, whatever. Hit us up, bswithbriansimpson at gmail.com. We will read the shit and make sure that you mention whether you want to be called by what name you want to be called by, so I don't like out anybody or whatever.
I also produce Josh Potter's show now, so if you're a fan of the Josh Potter show, you can email him and say that you like me as well.
Yeah, there you go. You're gonna be a fucking celebrity soon. Watch.
No.
Being the educated electronics technology consumer that you are. Oh, this is from Kevin. What resources, websites, social media, etc., do you utilize/rely on? What is your process before buying electronics? Thank you. Well, I go everywhere. I do. The first thing I do is I just Google top 10 whatever in the current year, and usually when you go past the advertised places, I open up 5 or 6 of those, and I look for the things that are mentioned the most. And, and I narrow that down to about 2 or 3, and then I actively research those things individually. And I decide what I want to do then. More and more lately, it's become harder and harder to rely on tech reviewers because they tend to lie or embellish or leave out certain information about defects and stuff like that because they don't want to miss that. I'm not mad at them, but a lot of times they get sponsored by companies. Now, it's like, for example, it's like not every so say I'm reviewing headphones, because I got my daggone.
They're over here.
Oh, I got my daggone Sony headphones right there. But say I'm reviewing these and I don't the video may be sponsored by Sony, or it may not be, but there's certain things they don't want me to talk about, and certain things they want me to mention, and that kind of shit, right? And so, and some YouTubers or tech blogs, they'll mention that it's a sponsored thing, but still, it's just real hard to get an honest review out of shit. I honestly, one of my favorite reviewers is Flossie Carter on YouTube. He kind of keeps it real. I like that he does it old school style. It's not a lot of bullshit with it. He'll give you a quick look at things, and then he'll give you like a long term thing. He has a cat. And I feel like maybe he keeps it the most honest, and not only that, but the most honest and you don't need a fucking degree in physics to like understand what he's talking about. He gives you like the real consumer skinny of it. Like he'll tell you all the stats and shit, but just real world use, like what the average consumer wants to know. And that's the thing, is like his shit is just produced enough to be high quality, but it doesn't feel overproduced where it feels like a commercial. You know what I mean? I also, I not as much as before, but I listen a lot to Marquez Brownlee or MKBHD, only because I've been listening since a long time ago, and we basically watched him grow up, but now his channel is, they don't cover everything. You know what I mean? Like you never really see them do televisions or it's just certain tech that they don't do. So sometimes I'll be looking for a review and you type in that with him and it doesn't come up because he, so yeah, it's that.
His reviews are good though.
Yeah,
if you can find a review that he's done of something, then it's usually pretty good. He just doesn't have the, he's not as prolific as some other reviewers.
Right. Well, he doesn't have to be. He's fucking rich now.
Yeah.
But also it's like, but a lot of and the thing too is a lot of times you'll see reviewers and it's almost like they all get talking points and they all saying the same exact thing. It's almost like there's a mother reviewer and everybody waits for them to review shit and then they come out and make their videos saying the same exact stuff. It's I don't know. It just the YouTube review community is just convoluted and it's full of a lot of people that are full of shit. So that's just my opinion. It's better to go on Reddit or go on, read reviews that are written by real people, even though you got to take those kind of with a grain of salt too, because some people are weird. It's better to go find like forums, old school forums and stuff like that, and see. And here's the other thing too: make sure, because I just went through this recently with my TV purchase, but make sure you're talking to somebody that owns the thing that you're researching, not people because some people, and understandably so, some people have a grudge against certain companies because they've been fucked over, and they don't see their bias. For example, when those XM5s first came out, so I have my current travel headphones on my Sony XM5. What the Sony
WH-1000 XM5.
WH-1000 XM5s, right? And I swear, so basically, none of the reviewers mentioned that, and I think no one still talked about it, but this is my fifth pair. I returned them 3 times. I bought a pair in another state, and then something happened. And the problem was that the noise canceling wasn't. All the reviewers were saying it was blowing the XM4s out of the water, and it was the best noise canceling they'd ever seen in their fucking lives. And it was just the best, and it wasn't. And something else weird happened that I didn't notice until later. So I was on my 4th pair, and then and I was riding with the homie, and I left my earphones in her center console. I left my headphones in her center console, and then the next day she got in a car accident. And so it was a whole bunch of things where I wouldn't be able to get it back from her, and I was going to be on the road for like 3 weeks. So I just bought some. So I took my home listening headphones on the road, and it was just they're not comfortable enough to wear them for like hours and hours. So I just bought some new XM5s when I was in another place, and I put these motherfuckers on, and my God, it just blew everything out the water. And I was like, oh shit. And then I also noticed when they connected, so the other 4 pair, when they connected to my phone, they said like the internal Sony number of like in my Bluetooth list, it didn't say the XM5s like my 4s and my 3s and my 2s did. It said Y2658 or some shit like that.
It's like a serial number.
No, not a serial number, but it's just like what Sony calls it internally.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like if you were to search up that number, XM5s will come up in your search. But that's
like a UPC code almost.
Right, it's like the model. It's like the model number.
Yeah, like a model number. Yeah,
right.
I get you.
So, but this pair connected as the XM5s, and they fucking worked like they were supposed to. And so what that tells me is there was probably a bad batch that got sent out there because of the chip shortage or whatever the fuck. Because a lot of companies are having problems with quality control, and it literally took me 5 pair before I got one that worked great. And the ones they send out to these reviewers are handpicked, and selected and tuned and all this other shit. So, and none of the reviewers came back and mentioned that. No blog did a correction or anything like that. It's like, because there were a bunch of people in Reddit that were like, is anybody else not getting what they talk about? It was like, yeah, honestly, I think maybe because these new ones have, the 4 had 1 chip to handle sound processing and noise canceling, and these have 2. And I think maybe that first batch came out with only 1, or one of them was malfunctioning or something, because those work fucking amazing. And the 4 other pair did not. So that's YouTube is YouTube reviewers is probably, to me, the least useful way of. In fact, I would say YouTube is better for when just finding out what's coming out next, than whether or not you should buy that shit.
Get the hype from YouTube, but then check that shit against Reddit and see how many people are like, my shit does not work.
Yeah, bro. Same thing happened with that with the Samsung with the Odyssey, with the Neo Odyssey G9. Boy, every reviewer was like, this is fucking fantastic. This is the absolute best gaming monitor you can buy for your money, and it's not even close, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And then you go to Reddit and it's like, half the people like, I returned that fucking piece of shit. Quality control. Samsung has a problem with that. Same thing with like bro, Samsung's 8K TVs are the cheapest ones. Mm-hmm. They're mini LED. They come in around, they're anywhere from like $4,500 to $7,000 depending on the size. And the Sony 8K TV is anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000, and the LG one is like $20,000, right? But it's OLED, 8K OLED. But my point is, and the Samsung it's a much better deal. You probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference unless you're like one of these fucking video files that's like, because Sony has better processing and all of that. But Samsung has such poor quality control that, like, you know how much of a pain in the ass it would be to have to send back an 85-inch TV 2 or 3 times so you don't have a dirty screen effect or whatever. And dirty screen effect is basically like if your TV's all white, like if you put something all white on your TV and it looks dirty, that's a problem with the panel. Mm-hmm. It's not uniform, right? Which means you're not getting uniform color because all the other colors are based off the white. Anyway, the point is, it's so much of that, and then there's some kind of bug with their I don't know if it's an HDR bug or whatever, but it's like shit like that with Samsung. It's always some shit. And I'm sitting here with a Samsung phone and a Samsung watch and a Samsung tablet in my bag, but Lord knows it's been through some shit. If it ain't a phone or something, because remember, this is the same company that literally put out a phone that was exploding. It was exploding on people. So, that's the risk you run there. And it's weird because they have the most expensive Android phones, and they're the cheapest TV brand. Well, not they're the cheapest non-budget brand. So TLC is probably the cheapest, Vizio's the cheapest, but you don't want to buy Vizio. Anyway,
talking about legitimate.
Right. I mean, Vizio's, yeah. But
I have a Vizio TV.
Yeah. Because Sony, remember when Sony almost went out of business?
But there's times where I'm like, let's go watch this in the bedroom on the good TV.
Remember when Sony almost went out of business?
Yeah.
So they, and then they pivoted and was like, we're going to focus on premium. So Sony is kind of sort of out of the budget market. But Sony has this cockiness to them too, where it's like sometimes there's certain shit that they don't, like they're like, we're Sony, we don't have to, we don't have to have 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. We can give you 2, just for no good reason, because we're Sony, and it's like that. So you're paying the Sony tax is what they call it. So anyway, I could talk about tech all day. You know what, man? We should just start a tech podcast.
Let's just do it.
Just start a whole separate. Should we? Or maybe we just have a section on this one that's tech. Yeah, maybe I should review technology.
I mean, if it gets us some free technology,
hey, listen.
just so everybody knows, just so Sony knows and all the other manufacturers know, like we can be bought.
Oh yeah. I will tell people that your screens are perfect and you have all the HDMI ports anybody could need. Yeah, send me a a lot of times they don't give them free shit. You got to send it back.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, they send it to you early, and to them, because that's the thing. If they know that your money comes from, like, basically, if they know that if they know that you having the exclusive first look is more valuable to you than you are to them, then they'll make you send it back. They don't give you all them perks and shit. Like somebody like Unbox Therapy or Marquez Brownlee, like they might get away with that. And even them, like Apple don't just be giving Marquez free shit. Like he got to send shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like he can get an interview with the CEO, but they like, yo, you got to send that shit back. You know what I mean? It just depends on the item and what your agreement is with the people. But a lot of times you do got to send that shit.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes I got to tell them like, hey, I sent that back. That's between you and UPS.
Yeah, but imagine that there's certain shit you get to keep.
Yeah.
But most of the time, like review units have to get sent back, or early stuff that comes out, stuff they send you before.
Software you can keep. So, hey, Activision, you want to get at us and send us some free games and shit? That's fine. Rockstar.
I'll take it all day long. Okay, so I hope that that was a long ass answer to your question, but Reddit and YouTube are fine. So don't forget, I will be at the goddamn Addison Improv on the 25th, 26th, and 27th. I think my last show in LA will be at the Shoebox on Friday. I'm also going to be on the homie show, D&E show at the Vulcan in Austin on the 28th. So that's all the stuff I got coming up lately. Oh, yeah.
You got a bunch of dates coming up in San Francisco.
Yeah, I got a bunch of dates in San Francisco? No, just one. Just one weekend there.
One weekend, okay.
Yeah, San Francisco, 8th, 9th, 10th. Tampa, 16th and 17th, DC Improv, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, and Pittsburgh, the 29th, 30th, and all of September. So go to my BrianSimpsonComedy.com and buy those tickets. Go to goddamn one of my socials, BS Comedian, and if you have any questions, concerns, comments, complaints, need advice, BS with Brian Simpson.